Hello, hello, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Talk Blerdy to Me, the only podcast where two black women ramble aimlessly for like 30 to 45 minutes. Hi, Lana, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm in a okay mood. I've been watching some very dark and sad animes, so it gets me in my Drake feelings.
I feel you. I watch dark and depressing anime to survive, so that's where we're a little different. But I understand, you gotta get in your Drake feeling sometimes.
I don't know about that, but I'll go along with it.
But today, I guess, well, nope, that's a lie. I was going to say, today we're not going to talk about anything dark and depressing, but it's a little bit. It's painted brightly, but with a lot of dark context. Yeah.
I will say, I wouldn't say it's dark. Um, it's exciting and it gets sad, but he's still my number one boy.
Yeah. I mean, just because it's a little dark doesn't mean that he's not your number one boy. But I guess, like, tone-wise, tone, I feel like it's dark. I feel like they do a great job. First of all, just to get to what we're talking about, we're talking about the Ranking of Kings, which, if you have not watched, is an absolutely
Mm-hmm.
spectacular anime about a boy
That
who
tell
is deaf and mute, as he goes on an adventure to become king after being, like, rudely belittled by everyone around him, including his,
mm-hmm.
like, his what stepmother, everyone basically
Brother.
except for his dad. Yeah, his brother is a whole. Uh, his brother makes me want to curse at things. Just
You
anything.
know, it's one of my favorite animes. I will say it's quickly worked its way into my top 10. Because especially of newer anime,
Hmm.
like it's such a unique story. Like you said, it's so bright and beautiful. It has this mix of like Steven Universe mixed with like what's the other one we were mentioning that's actually an anime? Miyazaki. Not
Oh, like
Miyazaki.
like a Ghibli. Yeah.
Ghibli. And it's so uniquely drawn. But yeah, definitely the mom looks like Pearl from Steven Universe to me.
She does. She's got, it's that
She got
long
that
pointy
nose.
nose. Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
nose.
and the face. Yeah, she looks like
Hmm.
Pearl. And his mom kind of looks like he kind of looks like Steven Universe.
I can see that,
Um,
the curly hair and the kind of like button nose.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a beautiful story, and Bojji is he's best boy. He won best boy at the Crunchyroll Anime Awards, and I voted for him so many times. I was like, Bojji better win best boy. Like, I don't care what nobody says. He's best boy all around. He's so cute.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also voted for him for the Crunchyroll Best Boy, and I feel like it's like the one, like, I'm in a anime like black anime group, and he's like the one character that no one will ever say anything bad about. Like, people have their debates about
Hmm.
you know Deku, Bakugo, Goku, all the
Yep.
different shonen characters, especially. But when it comes to Boji, everyone is like, "That is my child, and I will hurt you if you say something about him. Like, just don't do it."
Yeah.
Right?
There's nothing bad about Bojji. And we'll get into this, but Bojji, even though he's like, he has that hero complex of like, he's like, I'm good and I can see the good in everybody. And Bojji will fight to save somebody he doesn't even know that well, but he still has very real feelings, which we'll get into, which is what I liked because they didn't make him like, okay, I'm not trying to talk bad about Tanjiro. I love Tanjiro. But Tanjiro's just so good that like, he really just will be like, oh yes, like and he always is like feeling bad for himself. You hardly ever see Tanjiro have feelings of rage except when it comes of course to like Nezuko, but for his own self, like he's not selfish enough to be upset with anyone thus far in Demon Slayer, with anyone based off what they've done to him, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I definitely feel like that's part of the reason I like Boji so much, and I've said the same thing. Like, Tanjiro is just way too nice, and yeah, like you said, I like him. He's not my favorite. Zenitsu is my favorite, but that's okay.
Hmm.
But like, he's just way too nice, and I like that Boji. Bojji feels more like the if you didn't wrong me, I won't wrong you kind of person. Like, that's you're a friend until you prove yourself as otherwise, is kind of where Bojji
Hmm.
tends to land. Where Tanjiro is like, I need to understand the why and the everything about everyone. I need to feel their feelings and smell their emotions. And Bojji's just like, you haven't done anything to me and you've helped me, so we're friends until you do something, and then you're a bad guy. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's definitely um Boji. And he's so even his name is cute. I just said it, Boji. Boji. Boji's such a cute name. I'm sorry. He's just like you say, he can't he's literally like all of our kid. Like, no, don't mess with Boji. Don't talk about Boji. Boji can do no wrong. Um, but let's get into the story. Now we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna try not to spoil y'all. But there may be spoilers ahead. Sorry. But we're gonna talk a little bit about Ranking of King, about the characters, things we liked, we didn't like, the funny, crazy moments. I will tell you this about Ranking of Kings, and Mari will definitely, I know you'll agree, that there are some parts in there that you'd be like, is this the same anime? What am I watching? What just
Yeah, there's
happened?
definitely some parts that throw you for a loop. I don't know if I can say, I'll wait to hear your opinions on what you don't like, because I don't know if there's anything I can honestly
Yeah.
say I don't like about this anime. Um,
You
I mean,
just
there's
said you
some
didn't
like,
like his brother.
well, I mean, there's characters I
Yeah.
don't like, but like, I mean, as far
Mhm.
as like, like I can say Dragon Ball Z, it's the same thing, rinse and repeat after a couple of seasons. It gets boring. I still love it because it's near and dear to my heart, but I can at least
Mhm.
find things I don't like about Dragon Ball Z or about like Naruto or about all
Yeah.
of those. But like, Ranking of Kings, it's hard right now. I can't really
Yeah.
think of a thing that I don't like.
You know what the messed up part is? I think even at the end of the anime, you're probably actually gonna like of the season. You're probably gonna like his brother. There's gonna be something that comes out. You're like, oh, that's why he was doing this. You know, I
I
feel
am
like,
gonna be so mad if they make me like that little piece of crap. I am really hoping that I'm hoping he has a come to Jesus moment and we'll of course
hmm
get to the characters, but they gonna have to work real hard to make me like him because the King's already fallen out of my favor and I liked him and I started off not liking Dieta, so we're gonna
Dida,
see what happens. Yeah.
Dida, Dida.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, so Boji is clearly our favorite. Um, and we said all these things. Boji is very determined. He's just cute all around. And he's so like when Boji cries, I cry. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If Boji starts crying and he cries a lot, I cry right with him. I'm like, Boji, oh, don't cry. And but
Yes.
I will say about Boji, you know how some characters start crying? Like, I've been watching Attack on Titan recently. And they start having those internal monologues or other anime where they like cry and they're like, I couldn't do anything. I'm just a piece of crap. When Boji does it, it's literally like so sad. Like, I feel so sorry for him. And I know he's a cute kid, but I really feel like Boji, you know, he's truly helpless. Like the other people that be crying because they're a piece of crap, they're a piece of crap because they grown people that can hear and can talk and let's just say they have power in their punches and they have power in the things that they do. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? They have the
Yeah.
ability to not be pieces of trash. Like Boji, just watch it. He does not really have the ability that those people have. Like it was unfair what happened to him, but
Right.
when he's crying and he's like, I'm ready to give up, but doesn't, I feel really bad for him.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job of making him a sympathetic character. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's very much that, like with a lot of characters, like even, and I have no problem with characters that cry, like Zenitsu cries all the time, Deku's
Hmm.
constantly crying. Like, I don't really have a problem with characters crying in
Yeah.
general. But like you said, there is that difference of like they all have power, they're all established, relatively, or very powerful beings. And then you have Boji, who is a character who just doesn't give up, even though he initially doesn't have powers. And I think that's like what sets him apart.
Yeah. And it's like, you just gotta, how could you not feel sad for that face? Like, how could you? So cute, so cute. So that's something I really love about Boji. I also love the fact that he's been a kid this whole time. How people be kids and then they grow up. Maybe he will grow up eventually, but I love that. I love how friendly he is. I love how he has the ability. He's won us over, but he has the ability to win people over in the show. Um, and I just like love how like he's innocent, but like he's not dumb. Like even though people think he's dumb, that I think he's actually very wise too. As you learn, the more you watch it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I think that was part of the points that kind of like made me really tear up was people coming to the realization that he was actually smart because you
Hmm.
do and the first couple of episodes even like his own stepmother says some stuff because she doesn't think that he reads lips or she doesn't realize that he can understand or process some of the stuff she's saying about him. And so there is this like realization where you're like, no, Bojji understands, or like even Kage has a moment where he's like, no, he knows what these people are doing. He's just pretending that he doesn't, to help with his own trauma. And so you do realize that like it's almost a coping mechanism for him. And then Bojji makes me cry again. There we go. No.
And we do have to point out, as I was like hinting to earlier, that Boji is actually too weak to pick up a sword. So he can't pick up like swords. He can't
He couldn't
really
even
like
pick up like a bucket of water.
if he
Like, yeah.
punches somebody, and they can't feel it, like Boji's that weak. And so the part where Boji went into the room and was trying to pick up a sword and then cried after he was like beat up was just so heartbreaking that like he was trying so hard to like pick up that sword and like in anime there's that moment where the character gets some strength and it activates it and they pick up the sword, like you just wanted that to happen so bad but it didn't. Like you were like, Boji's gonna pick up the sword, he's gonna do it any moment,
Yeah.
like
There's
he's
so
gonna
many
do it.
moments. Yeah, I feel like there's so many moments early on where I was like, okay, this is going to be the point where we find out Bojji, has a latent ability, or like even when him and Daida are fighting, and Daida's the one who basically beats the
Hmm.
crap out of him. Um, who's Daida's is an older brother. He is, or a younger brother technically, right? Younger or
Hmm.
older?
He's younger because
He's
Boji
younger,
was
yeah.
born first.
Right. Boji was born first, yeah. So Daida's, oh yeah, first wife, yeah. Daida's technically his younger brother, who kind of like got most of the king's power of like a giant. So he's much more powerful than Boji is, and he kind of just bullies Boji, and he takes. I think he has a little bit of a complex himself,
Hmm.
but he clearly takes it out
Yeah.
on Boji because he feels like Boji was babied, which clearly he wasn't. But in his eyes, Bojji was baby because Bojji can't do anything, so Bojji deserves to be picked on. And so he
Hmm.
kind of beats the crap out of Bojji, and you're sitting there for the entire moment, like, oh, this is the point where he's gonna come back and hit him, and you can see that. But like that's your first glance that Bojji is talented in a different way. But
Hmm.
he still ends up getting the shit beat out of him, and it takes someone else, an adult, stepping in to be like, "Hey, you're actually killing your brother. Could you not?"
Yeah. Um, Boji was winning. I mean, he wasn't. He was winning because it wasn't actually a fight to death. He was winning at first,
Right.
but when they told him, he was like, "That's not how.
That's the
That's not a
cow.
fair way to
Yeah, that's
fight."
the coward's way to fight. That's the other thing. That whole town
I
is
was like,
trash.
first of
Like,
all,
set that
he
town
don't
on
know he can't
fire.
fight. Like he can't put power behind his swing. That's not a coward's way to fight. That's the best way to fight. Get out of
Right.
here.
It's finding your strengths. Like the whole like, and I
Hmm.
feel like that's like gonna be the overarching moral of the show,
Yeah.
and what it's kind of showing itself is finding your strengths and
Hmm.
relying on what you can do, not letting other people dictate
Yeah.
what's important to you. But that whole thing, like
Everybody's strong.
that town deserves to be set on fire. Like if flames engulfed it and it did not exist anymore, I'd be like, F all y'all. Because the whole town is full of assholes. That's all.
Well, they got what was coming to them, so it's
They
fine.
did. I didn't even feel bad. I was just kind of like, okay.
That dude, he made me feel bad. It was weird. Just
Well, he makes me feel
uncomfortable.
bad on the inside, but not what
Yeah, I
happened to the
never want
town.
to see him. Never want to isekai. I mean, as much as I love this anime, don't want to get isekai there.
Oh no! I mean, especially like, and we won't spoil too much because I do want people to actually check it out. But yeah, some of the things that even happen to just like regular ass towns and that, or like people were living their lives and then betrayal, and I'm like, I don't need that. I don't need that constantly behind the back of my head. Like, well, is this the day my mother sells me the sharks? I don't know.
Sells you to sharks. It's just like sharks. Nice doing business with you. We'll eat your child now.
Yeah, I don't know the town of sharks next door. I don't know.
The city of Sharktopia.
Yeah, they need
Um,
human sacrifices.
So Bojji is great. I would say my second favorite character is definitely probably Kage.
Kage? Yeah, I was like, the
Kage for
answer
sure. I
has
was
to
like,
be
I'm trying to
Kage.
think of a redeeming character. Oh, what Despa? Despa, but Despa's
No,
even like
I like Despa
untrustworthy.
too, but Despa is just kind of cowardly. I think I don't
Mhm.
think he's untrustworthy as much as he's a bit of a coward. But Kage, hands down, like Kage is a true
You
ride
think
or
so?
die.
I don't think Despa. Um, I think he's. I don't think he's a coward, but I think he has best interest for his brother too.
Oh,
Um,
absolutely. But I don't even see. Okay, so that's a little different because I don't. Because I mean, honestly, if it was between my sister and something going on, I am going to have the best interest of my sister at heart. Like, I don't see that as necessarily like conniving
mm,
as long as you're not doing it in a malicious way. Like if it's like, oh, I'm undermining Bojji secretly and he doesn't know it, which I don't think that's what he's doing. I think it's just while we're
well,
doing this, I'm also going to set my brother up for success. Which his brother
no,
was upfront with what he wants to do without spoiling things. His brother was upfront about what
but
he
not
wants to
with
do too.
Bojji.
Yeah, he did. He told Bojji.
He told him later though.
Yeah, but I feel like his brother didn't his brother wasn't the reason he was in a position to do what he wants to do. Like he
I
was going to
just
storm the
think,
castle anyway.
yeah, but I think that Bojji didn't know that. Remember, because Bojji was riding with them, and Despa knew that the other one, what's his name?
I know it's
Despa and
something close.
Deska? No,
Des-
that's a question.
Destiny.
Um,
No.
I was like Deska, non Deska.
What is that? What is his name now? Why am I forgetting? We'll find it.
Despa.
The point is, I stand by. That is just omitting truths. That is not deceiving people, and that's
He's
where I will
deceiving.
land on
He's
that.
deceiving him
That's where I'm
because he does
landing.
not tell Bojji, and he knows about it. What his brother's
But
doing.
he didn't tell Bojji everything was fine. He just said, "Let's go save your people. Things are happening in the castle." He didn't
He
say,
should have
"And by
told
the
him. He should
way,
have.
my brother
He,
is not going to come attack your castle." He just didn't say, "My brother is going to come attack your castle." That's fine.
that's deceiving, Mari. That's called deceit. That's what that is called. That is
No, that
called
is called
deceit.
omitting
No, it's the
information.
truth. Omitting the truth is still deceit. It's still a lie.
No.
I know what type of child you was. Did your parents fall for that, or did you get in
You
trouble
know,
after you said that?
there are still things that my parents to this day don't know that I omitted.
And I'm sure if they know, they'd be like, "You're grounded." Uh,
You're
but
grounded from afar. You better not leave your apartment.
stay in there. Like, dang
But
it.
yeah, I know.
Sorry, I
Why
can't
they got me in
go out,
trouble
guys.
again? My parents
I
grounded
omitted the
me from
truth.
from like 4 states away.
I love it. Great parents.
Yeah,
But yeah, no, I think that he wasn't. But I don't think him to be a coward. You haven't caught up yet, but I did see a little sneak of the new episode,
yeah.
and that's what I'll leave at that. You'll
Yeah.
get to it.
And when I say a coward, I don't mean like hiding in the shadows coward. I mean more
Mhm.
like he had like some of the things that he's done out of his own self interest, to keep himself basically out
Yeah,
of harm's way has been kind of cowardly,
that's
but not in the
why.
sense where I'm like he's throwing,
That's why.
throwing people away. And I think when it comes to
Yeah.
Bojji, he cares enough where he will step up and do things. Like even him showing up to, running after
Hmm.
them for Miranjo and them. I think that
Yeah.
he does like he gets it together when he needs to, but he's not the person who's going to until he has to.
I'm just saying, get to the new episode.
Yeah.
You'll see. But
Okay.
also,
Am
do
I
you
going to see
think?
why you think he's deceiving instead of just omitting
No.
truths? Oh, okay.
You'll see why I think he's. I don't know. Get to it.
Yeah. Okay.
Um. And then yes, I'll say Kage. So Kage is Boji's friend from. He's from the Spy Clan, Ninja Clan. What clan is he?
They
It's a name that's a synonym of what I'm hinting at.
yes, yeah.
Um, the Shadow Clan. That
Shadow
sounds.
Cliff, the Shadow Cliff.
But he's a Shadow Clan member. He's this little black shadow. He literally looks like a puddle of black shadow. Kage is another one of my favorite characters because Kage starts off as a villain, but ends up becoming like Boji's friend, bodyguard, and like the person that rides for Bojji. He
Yeah.
also loves Bojji as much as we do. Like Kage loves Bojji, and Bojji's changed Kage, and
Hmm.
Kage had every right to be the way he was. But I love Kage. Like he's so
Yeah.
sweet, and he's a real ride or die. Like I wish I had a friend like Kage.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like everybody needs a Kage in their life. Like he is Boji's cheerleader. He's like goes and gets his stuff for him. He makes sure Boji's fed, makes sure he has covers on at night so he's sleeping. Like he's basically Boji's big brother. It's a very like they have such a sweet relationship. He's also the only person who
Hmm.
can understand Boji, without like
Yeah,
signing. So he's kind of like his interpreter for a lot of situations as well. But he's such a good guy, and like you said, he has all the reason in the world. Like he was literally just trying to survive. Like I understand why he was the way he
yeah.
was, but it's great that he like
Hmm.
turned over a new leaf when he found that there was someone worth going to bat for.
And I appreciate Kage's backstory. Sometimes I don't like looking at people's backstory. I'm like, okay, God, filler. But I feel like with Kage's backstory, I was pleasantly surprised, and I actually really liked it. Like, I was like, oh my gosh, this backstory is really sad. But even after like the traumatic thing that happened, it was even more sad. And you could tell that Kage is actually a really good person after that.
Yeah, yeah, I think Kage is definitely like someone who suffered from not being because he's like still young too. Like his mom hadn't died that young ago or that long ago. Like he's still a younger character, so you can tell that it was more of a situation where like he didn't get a chance to grow up and be a good kid. He kind of just got tossed into a situation where he had to be bad to survive.
Hmm. Yeah, so I love Kage because he's I can't be with Bojji, so Kage
Yeah,
can be there
Kage
in
is
our
our
place.
universal rep. Yeah, I
He's
think
the
I
president of the
definitely
Bojji
match
fan
your.
club.
I know. I think I definitely match your first two. I think we're gonna differ on our third ones.
I don't think so. Go ahead, tell me yours.
You don't think so? My third is actually Desha, not
Uh-huh.
Despa. Because I feel like I think for similar reasons, Kage like he did a lot of things because he had to. I think especially
Hmm.
once you kind of learn his
Yeah.
backstory and like how he's dealt with his brother and that kind of thing. Like he is a very kind king who has to do bad things to keep order, kind of thing. And
Hmm.
I just like I really felt for his character. I also kind of like that he's like kind of aloof and a bit of an asshole, but you can by the same token, like you can still
Yeah,
tell he cares.
he's
Like
petty.
even with yeah, he's a bit petty, which I also like.
Hmm.
But but you could tell that like he cares, and even without spoiling things, like like certain situations that he's handled, you can tell that like he cares for the people and he's trying to
With his
keep the
brother.
law. Like with his brother and with the like goblin dude whose name I'm
Hmm.
forgetting. But like you could tell that like he cares and he felt bad about what happened. He still had to keep some kind of order, but like he clearly didn't want to like kill the guy for what he did because it was justified, that kind of thing. So
Hmm.
I just really like the way his character is written.
Yeah. I agree with you. I don't dislike him at all.
Oh no,
Actually,
I was just saying in terms of
yeah.
ranking. That's all. I thought you were gonna say
I would.
Despot before. Yeah.
Uh, I'd put them in like on the same ranking.
Okay.
Um, I don't disagree with that. The dude you're talking about is Gigan,
Gigan, that's his name. Yeah.
Gigan,
Yeah.
Gillian. Um,
No, good old Gillian. Gillian the
Gilligan,
Goblin.
Gilligan's Island, the
Good
Goblin Island.
Gilligan the Goblin. No.
Now, if you'd have said somebody like Moranjo was like your next choice, I would have been
Mirajo is
like,
actually my favorite character. No, Mirajo. I am starting to feel bad for her.
mm-hmm,
So she might right now she is actually ahead of Boss just because I have no idea what the hell Boss is doing. But we'll get there. That they all sit up somewhere in the cesspool. She's just
you're like, yeah, the
climbing up a little
Forest
bit.
King is my favorite.
Yeah, I'll put Forest King as 5. No.
My number one. He's actually better than Bojji.
Yes, Boji's cool, but have you met the Forest King?
Yes, I've met him. All right, he was trying to eat Bojji.
Right? He just wanted to, serve him up to the gods. That's all.
He's like, "What if I sacrifice you?" I was like, "What the heck
I'm like,
just
this took a
happened?"
dark turn. I thought we were
I
turning up.
know. We were
Yeah.
dancing. They was dancing and having a good time.
Yeah. He
A
was like,
jellyfish in
yeah.
the sky. I can fly just as high.
That's
It's
what
like,
happens when you dance with weirdos. Got to know who you're dancing with.
um, so yeah, I definitely would agree with you on those choices. I would say Desha, Deshaun, uh, and
Deshaun, yeah, good
Des.
old Deshaun.
Let's give him black names. Deshaun,
Deshaun
and
and Des.
Despa,
Yeah,
Despawn. That sounds like a
I know. I was trying.
killer.
I was like, not Despawn. That sounds like Spawn's
It's
like
like the
weird
sequel
rip
to
off. Yeah,
Spawn. Yeah,
yeah.
Despawn. That's my dad was Spawn, and I'm just Spawn.
And I'm
Um,
Despawn. Yeah,
New black superhero.
we
Um,
didn't ask for it. We're good. We asked
yeah,
for it, but not
we
this
didn't
way.
ask
Not
for it. We
like
didn't know
this.
we didn't need. Um,
Right. Oh, I've
but
discovered a new thing I
I
didn't want.
like
Thank you.
Despawn. Um, I do like Despa
Mm,
a lot because I like the fact that he did believe in Bojji. Like, of course, it was for selfish reasons.
hmm
I also like how random his character looks. I'm not gonna say random, but like, okay, let's talk about it. Nobody in this anime looks the same. You know how in anime, some people sometimes look. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. I'm a hardcore anime fan. I'm a certified blurred, hence the podcast. But sometimes people be looking the same. I'll be like,
Oh,
who
absolutely.
is
I
that?
think who was I just talking about?
The
Oh, the dude who
same
does
character?
yeah, like the dude who does like Rave Master and dang, what were we just talking about? Fairy Tale and stuff. Like all his characters
Mhm.
look the same with different hair colors. Like I get it.
And
Like, yeah.
some of them, even in the same anime, they look like literally. I'm
Right.
like,
It's
who
like, no, you
are?
could tell this one's a different character because she has purple eyes and blonde hair, not
Yeah, and
green
I'm like,
eyes and blonde hair.
these are the same. I thought they died. They're like, no, that was the other one. Were they related? No, they,
I'm like, no, this is a
they
whole
look
new
alike.
character. I'm like, are you sure they're not just the same character with the color swap? Because that's what it looks like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and even sometimes then there's animes that have similar looking characters, like the glasses ones, and
Right.
you know, like I swear, sometimes that glasses dude from Orange High School Host Club, he looks like another character that I've
Oh
seen.
yeah, I feel like there's a lot of anime that fall into like, oh, glasses character with like black hair or glass or yeah, you know, like there's
Mhm.
always like that one type of
I
character
was
that looks the same.
I always get the same voice actor too. I'm the
Yeah,
glasses character.
right. It's like, hey, can we bring back so and so? We have another glasses character that needs to be played. Thank you.
So that would be terrible. You're like, I do all the glasses voice.
Right.
You're like the Cree Summer of
Of
glasses.
glasses. Some people do all the black people. I do all the glasses characters. I feel like you
Hey, you getting
yourself would
paid
have to
though.
wear glass. Oh yeah, absolutely. But I
You
feel like
don't. You
you
like actually wear contacts.
right. Actually, I have perfect 20/20 vision. I don't.
Mhm.
I don't need anything.
Actually, I don't even have eyeballs.
Like, well, now we have a whole nother set of issues. But okay.
But I feel like nobody in Ranking of Kings looks the same
Oh
or
yeah,
looks like
no,
anybody from another anime. Even though I was
absolutely not.
comparing them Steven Universe people, but I could tell people definitely apart. So I love Despa's whole look because they all look so unique. And
Mhm.
Despa, as you know, if you see Despa on the field, like if he was trying to hide in the background and be suspicious, you like, there's Despa.
Like,
He's
there
in
he
this
is.
scene. He was trying to take Bojji out back then. None of them really look the same.
Yeah,
Like, even some of the
yeah.
townspeople kind of look different. You're like, dang, are they going to be important later?
Right. Like, do I care
Um,
about them? Oh no, they died. Never mind. They got used as fodder. Got it.
yeah, got
But yeah, no,
stabbed in a bar fight.
in a bar fight. Oop, they just got knocked out a window. Guess I'll never see them again. But yeah, no, I do really appreciate that. Like, there is no two characters that I'm like, is that the same character? Like, even people who are related, like Despa, Desha, and Ouken, none of them looked alike. Like, they all
Mhm.
had like, I guess, a mustache. But aside from that, like, none of them look
Eyelashes,
alike. They all have eyelashes, but other than that,
watermelons. um, yeah. So I enjoy that, and I know sometimes anime creators will try to make their characters look different in an
Mhm.
effort to get the anime recognized. And sometimes I don't like that. Like there was that one, I think we talked about this. I don't think we talked about it in the podcast, but where
That
everybody's
wallflower
eyelashes
one.
was purple.
Oh,
No,
oh
the
yeah,
one
you did mention.
I was like, I didn't like that. I'm like, why is everybody eyelashes purple? This is not making me want to watch this. I'm
Yeah.
shallow. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm shallow and I hate purple eyelashes. Yeah, I feel like
Goodbye.
some do. Again, I mean, in my opinion, I think you can tell Mob Psycho when you see Mob Psycho, regardless of
Mhm.
if you like it or not. Lana, you're wrong, but regardless if you like it
I
or
didn't.
not.
I don't have.
Um,
I actually don't hate Mob Psycho.
okay,
I
we'll watch
think
it.
I watched a couple of episodes. I already did watch a couple of episodes. I just didn't get into the story. That's all.
Yeah, watch the rest
Um,
of it. That's your
I
after Attack on Titan. I promise you, it's not nearly as dark and traumatizing.
You almost just made me say some cuss words. I'm not listening to y'all. Not listening to no more anime. I'm sad because I watched Attack on Titan. Like that is too traumatizing. Let's start there. I'm not gonna take my time to watch Mob Psycho. If you recommend me something fun and light and I can laugh about a long time,
It is
then
fun and
yeah,
light, and you can laugh. That's why I said it'll be much better than like Attack on Titan. It's like a complete 180. I mean, it's not what's the one with Seiya?
cautious hero.
Yeah, it's not Cautious Hero. Like it's not that.
Don't you
It's not
ever
like
forget the name
Cautious
of that?
Hero Konosuba level of
Yes,
funny, but
I'm
it's
gonna
like
watch something like
funny.
that after Attack on Titan. I need to recover and I need to laugh. So,
But it is like you'll
um,
recover and laugh. It's like that, but with a little bit more of a story. Well, I guess Cautious Hero has a story. Konosuba has anecdotes, but either way, it's good, but also has a story, but will also make you laugh, and all the characters are pretty funny.
I will give it a shot in another year or so. I've seen
Another
part of
year.
Mob Psycho, so thumbs up.
Hmm.
But
But
I'm just waiting for
anyway,
that new season of One Punch.
fine, of One Punch, whatever.
One
Anyway,
Punch. Yeah,
um,
it does. It
but
does a
yeah,
good
it
job
does a
of
good job.
making characters look different, but it's not in an uncomfortable way.
Yeah.
Um,
And you
it's
can still
very.
show, or you
Mhm,
can still tell, like, it comes from the same show. Like, Deathshot
mhm,
doesn't look like, I guess because all the characters are so unique, but the
mhm.
style of the drawing is similar. So it's like, even though the characters are all super duper different looking, because of the style, you can still tell they're like, oh, that's from Ranking of Kings, you know?
Yeah, except for that Forest King scene. Let's talk about it. I didn't know if I was still watching the same show when that happened. Just get to that part. That's all
I
I'm gonna
just
say. I'm gonna leave it at that.
didn't know what was happening. Like I was like,
I was like,
it
just
looked like he looks
drugs.
like a Ranking of Kings character, but like, did I miss 30 minutes of something? Like, did I miss an episode?
Well, he did until that part when they were dancing. The animation looked different to me. It was like that time, which I don't know if you've gotten to this part in the show because I think you gave up on it. Black Clover, where
Oh, I
Asta,
absolutely
I was like,
gave
is this a
up on
director's
that.
cut? When
Directors.
Asta gets he like uh it's a part where he discovers like this demon inside of him or something weird. I can't
Okay.
remember, but yeah. So that's why I'm saying Reiki of Kings. That part was like really weird, and I was like, "What is happening?" It's sad, but it didn't take me away from the story to the point where I was like, "I don't want to watch this anymore." So
Yeah.
Despa has a unique look. He's an overall really good character who believes in Bojji. He's
Mm,
really funny too, and he teaches Bojji how to be powerful. So I appreciate Despa for that. For teaching Bojji. Also,
yeah.
his horse is hilarious.
Oh, that
So
poor horse.
little fat,
Yeah. It was
like a
like my noble
unicorn.
steed, and then looks over, it's like 9,000 pounds.
It's gained. They're like, well, it didn't have any wars to fight, so it just ate for 10 years,
Right.
and now it's
It's
fat.
in there eating.
So I would say Despot is definitely my next ranking in the Kings of the ranking of Kings characters.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, no, I do like that Despa. Like you said, he believes in Bojji. I think he would be probably fourth on my list. I was trying to think if there was anyone I would put before Despa, but yeah, no, I mean, other than Desha, I would go Desha and then Despa. Like they're very close.
Hmm.
Um, I just love Desha's character so much, but Despa
Yeah.
is also really great, and yeah, I love how much he believes in Bojji, and he's always like there to like he's similar to Kage, and he's always there to give Bojji a pep talk when he needs it. But he's also like kind of tough on Bojji, like he's like, no, I know you
Hmm.
can do this, which I appreciate it. So he doesn't coddle him, but he's always there when he needs a pick me up.
Yeah. I will say, um, for honorable mention, Boji's mom is there because we don't really get to
Uh,
see her a lot,
oh, okay.
but
I
I
thought you were
love
talking about
his
Helen, like
actual
his
mom.
actual mom. Yeah,
Hmm. I give his mom honorable because his mom is. I mean, she should be number one, aside from Boji, you know.
yeah.
But just
She
keep
was
watching.
definitely a thug. Yeah, she's a good
Hmm.
character too.
And
Um,
she didn't even ask to be there. That's the sad part
she
about
sure
that.
didn't. She got pulled into that
Fought
whole
with this
thing.
man.
You're
It's like,
right.
hey, be my
Aren't you?
wife.
Okay,
I
so I
want to
feel
be the strongest man. Give birth to my child.
right. Yeah, now that I've beaten you and I'm the strongest, have my
Can you
baby. And it's
imagine
like, what?
if that if that was how it worked in the real world? Like some dude comes to fight you, and he's like, "All right, now you have to marry me and give birth to my
I
children."
would be so confused. Like, no, what? No.
All of a sudden, all the women are taking steroids and getting super buff, so they don't
I
have to
know,
marry him.
right?
Like, get out of my life!
All right. Look, I'm super
Beat some
slow.
dude
You
down.
can't beat me. Leave me alone.
Great,
But
I love it.
speaking of moms, though, healing. How do you feel about healing?
I feel like she's got good intention, but she went about it the wrong way. She's
Hmm.
stupid for doing what she did to Bojji.
Yeah.
But she recognizes that later. But I feel like I don't know if they wrote her like that just to like, because I feel like that was just dumb. Like that, the way she didn't treat Bojji very nice, but she loved him. Like it's toxic. Like come on now.
Yeah.
I mean, but I can't be mad because everybody else is like that for some reason. So I'm like, clearly these people are dumb. Um, but that's not how you treat somebody. If you wanted to protect Bojji
Mm-hmm.
and be there for him, then there was other ways to do that. You could have still been nice to him. You could have treated him nice.
Mm-hmm.
But I understand like sometimes when you not I'm not a mother, and I hope I never get this way. Sometimes when you're a mother, you can come off that way. Get to the point where you're trying to you really mean to love somebody, but it comes off as cold and controlling because you're just trying
Mm-hmm.
to protect him. But there's a better way to do that. Like she still could have been nice to him and been super sweet to him given what he went through, and not have treated him like that and talked badly just to get him to understand he was weak.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I agree. I think she is. I actually also think she's a pretty well written character. For the reasons that you said, like she's clearly stupid, but I think she is dealing with like she doesn't know how to handle Boji, especially like given like this isn't just like a regular mother raising a son. This is a
Hmm.
queen raising a future king. Um, especially that like and her husband boss has like shown favor to like wanting Boji to be king, and so like you're sitting here trying to like figure out how to raise this kid, and I'm not justifying her behavior. She was absolutely a terrible mom. I still hold that she's like a bad mom, but I think that she didn't know how to deal. I also think that she kind of like not turned on Boji, but kind of like when it was just Boji in her life, you saw how often she was like chasing after him, trying to get him to adore her. She wanted Boji to be her friend, but once she had her own son, and when she had Daida, that was clearly who she favored. Which is sad, but I think that happens a lot with stepmothers, where like you read about the stories, right, where like the stepmother loves their own child more than they love their adopted or brought into the family child. Um, so I think that was just the reality of it. Of like once she had her own kid, like he became her, her shining joy. Daida was great. Daida does all of this. He's so smart. He's powerful. He's like the king. And then Boji becomes the kid that's just like, just make sure he doesn't hurt himself. And that's kind of like how she treated him. And you could tell that she still, of course, kind of cared. She would come and heal him when he got hurt and that kind of thing. So it wasn't like she hated Boji, but it was clear that her favoritism had turned towards Daida.
Hmm. Yeah, I just like I said, I think there's a better way for her to go towards it, but
Yeah. Oh yeah, no,
you know,
definitely. Again,
and
bad
that's
mom.
why everything happened the way it did.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like things could have been a lot better. Well, I don't know. I think because without spoiling things, there's still that thing that came out and like pointed at Boji, that like demon devil thing that we still don't know what that thing still is. So maybe Boji dodged the bullet. I don't know, but
Moranjo? Oh
oh no,
no.
the actual devil that's
Yeah.
trapped. Yeah, like because we still
That
don't really know what's up with the
oh
devil quite
yeah.
yet. Yeah.
At first I thought that was a trick from Moranjo.
No, he showed up
And then
several times. He's clearly a thing, and I
yeah,
think Boss
but
mentioned
he was
him
a
at some point.
deal. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was a
yeah, he was the
deal.
deal that
Yeah.
Boss made, and but yeah, he was a deal that was
Mm.
made. So he's around, and he pointed at Boji as if like Boji was meant to be his next. I don't know if it was going to be his next
Victim.
victim or
No,
whatever. Yeah, but
I'm not
oh
gonna
yeah.
say, but I think that I mean I got where you're going, but then when you said it, something just came to me of like maybe not next victim, but like ha ha, I have,
Oh, it could have been a
yeah,
haha, like this is
I have,
why. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if it was a point in jest of like, because I do, of course, the story kind of makes it obvious why Bojji is the way he is eventually, but I do wonder if it was a point of like, ha ha ha, or if it was a like
Hmm.
you kind of thing. So I'm not sure, but either way, it was ominous. I'm like, maybe Bojji ended up dodging a bullet somehow. I don't know.
Yeah. So
But it is the reason Bojji became stronger. So even though his stepmom is a potato and Boss is get that and Boss does things. There we go. We'll just put it
yeah.
there.
Yeah, no. And quite honestly, the story would have been much different if Moranjo had switched the sons, like in the sense of
Hmm.
if she chose Bojji for all this. I feel like that at least would have justified him. Because remember Daida
Hmm.
became better once that happened. So Bojji, who, you know, needed
Yeah,
it, who's weak, could have used that, even though he would have been gone, which I wouldn't have
right.
wanted to see that.
But I think Daida
Um,
already had because Daida learned from Moranjo, but he didn't become more powerful because of Moranjo. He had
you know
inherited
what?
his father's strength. So like I don't think so. I think Moranjo was looking
Uh-huh.
for for reasons that I'm going to bleep out. Moranjo was looking for a candidate. Like
Hmm.
it's so Bojji wouldn't have
Well,
worked. Yeah.
before we get into the story of Moranjo, who is your
Yes.
next? Who would you say your next favorite characters are?
I think the are we doing like our top five favorites before we get into the hated people?
You do. You could do go on to hate it if you don't have any more people you
I was
actually
trying
like.
to think of who like I don't know if I have anyone that I would actually put on my list of top people. Like I have characters that I don't dislike.
Yeah.
But I don't
I
I
like
think
that
those are
dude,
my
the
like
one that's was hanging out with the other dude who betrayed Bojji. I forgot his name with the curly hair, got the mole on his face.
oh, the dude
Who's
who's
like the
the owner of the snakes. That who you're talking
no,
about?
no, no.
Oh.
Uh-uh.
Mm,
But I kind of like the owner of the snakes
I
too.
like him. Yeah.
The other dude, the one that was like mad that that dude uh is it Hokuro? Yeah, his name's Hokuro. Hokuro, I like him. He's the one that tried to kill that dude that betrayed Bojji.
Why do
And
I not remember this
and
man?
he's with him now. He's like
Oh,
his friend.
the okay, I know what you're talking about. The because okay, so I do like
Cuz
him, but
Domus, he's the one that
yeah,
hangs out with
that
Domus.
hangs out with Domus. Yeah. If you said Domus's friend, I would know who you're talking about.
I couldn't remember
So
his name. I was like the dude
yeah,
that betrayed Bojji.
the other guy.
Um
I like him. He has not done anything to hit my list yet, though. Like he's fine. He's fine.
I like him because he's been watching Bojji since before he went out into the world, and he was like,
Yeah.
will watch Bojji all the time and be like, "Oh, Prince Bojji." Remember, he was trying to kill that dude, even though he knew he couldn't.
Right.
After what he did to Bojji, he was
Yeah,
like,
no, I think he's a
"Fight me."
sweet character too. I also like that he I mean it's sad, but I like the way that they have written it where like Boji doesn't know he wasn't in on some of the stuff that happens, and so he
Yeah,
is kind of like forced to
doesn't like him.
feel some of that fallout
Yeah,
because
guilty
he
by
was yeah,
association.
guilty by association basically. And he didn't even know Homeboy was going to do that, but which sucks. And like my heart goes out to him. He just hasn't hit my list yet.
Yeah, so I like him.
Yeah.
I would say he's another honorable mention
Yeah.
because he is for Bojji. And he loves Bojji. I do like the guy with the snake. Even though at first I was like, is he an enemy? The
Yeah, I
heck,
thought he was a bad guy for a second. I was like, okay, no, no, he's watching out for Boji too. And I think wasn't he like the only one who actually voted that Boji should be king?
I think so.
Yeah, like I feel like
Um,
I think so because not even
yeah, his name
what's his
is
face that we were just
It's
talking.
Bebin.
Yeah, Bebin. Yeah, because not even Domus.
Domus.
Yeah, Domus doesn't vote for him, and I think Bebin was the only one who voted for Boji.
I also like his cool curved Levin sword. It looks like the
I do
Levin
like
sword
his
from Fire
code.
Emblem.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It looks like the Levin sword.
From Fire Emblem. Let's do another Fire Emblem episode. No, I'm just kidding.
God.
I'm like, so Fire Emblem. Now that you brought it
Right.
up,
I know this is
um,
a Fire Emblem episode, but yeah, no, I do like his sword. I actually I think I would put Bevin on my maybe in my top five. I think
mhm.
he would take that last spot.
That snake goes before him. I'm sorry.
Dang, I was gonna say Bevin and the
I
snake.
like the snake.
They were like gonna be one. Does the snake have a name? Mitsumata is that the snake?
It yeah, that
Yeah,
is a
I think
snake.
so.
its name is yeah, Mitsumata. Uh,
Can they
which
do
that
like
snake also confused me. I was like, why did you bite him?
when he was a baby? He was a
Yeah,
baby. He was a baby
he
snake.
bit him. He was like
Yeah.
bit him. Was he a baby snake?
Yeah, when he bit Bojji, yeah, he was like a
Hmm.
tiny snake. He was probably just scared.
Yeah, he was an average snake,
Yeah,
and it bit Bojji a lot,
yeah, it was. I
even
mean,
after they saved his life.
he was probably freaking out. Tree will nip at me when something freaks him out, so I could see that, like just being an animal and like scared. Um, so I can definitely see that part of things. I just like that he became like such a cool, sweet, and he's such a sweet snake. Who's always, again, once again, always looking out for Bojji, and I like that he's just like under the ground listening to everything that's happening. So I do like him. He's cool too. Him and Bevin are both 5. They're tied.
Hmm. Yeah, and I love that he has those little snakes. Um, those little snakes are probably his kids.
Yeah. Plus, Bevin gets
That.
honorable mention for going down there and letting Kage free. Or like, well, Kage got
Hmm.
loose and tried to escape, but
Yeah, and he
once he
told him
found
not
out
to.
Kage was with
Yeah,
Bojji, he was like,
he
okay, yeah,
had
you need
Boji's
to go.
best interests.
Right, right.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that. I would say, what are you gonna say? Least like characters.
Well, I mean, obviously Miranjo is probably
I was like, yes, Domus.
right. Yeah, I was like Dida, Miranjo, Domus, and Boss. Yeah. Those are
Yeah, I'm
mine.
really confused about if Boss is good or not. But the more, even the last episode I watched, I was like, wait a minute. And I thought he was gonna have a good reason for this, and then he was like, she's all these things, and I was like, wait a minute.
Like you don't have a good reason either. Yeah.
It better be good by the end of it, or I'm
That's what I'm
gonna
saying. I'm still
jump in
trying to
there and kill
figure
him
out.
myself.
Yeah, because right now Boss is on a list of deaths for me. So I'm like, something needs to happen to redeem this character or make him so pitiable that I'm like, I forgive the fact that you let all of these things happen. But I feel like that's going to be hard to do because he let some bad things happen to a bunch of characters that I like. So we're gonna see.
Yeah. Well, I hope to. I hope he redeems himself. I'm gonna say that
Yeah,
because Boji deserves a good father. Um, I
yeah,
will say I don't like Moranjo, but I'm like, yo, what's going on with her too?
yeah.
And I don't like Domus because Domus had a choice to be a better person, and
Mm-hmm.
he chose to be bad. Like he didn't have to listen to that. He could have just never went back.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I think Domus
Could have he could have been
is
like, run. I'll say I killed you. Like
right. Yeah. And we're gonna figure out a way out of this together. Like there were so many things that Domus could have done to stand up for Bojji, especially for after, like he seemed like he wanted to like love Bojji and he really had a connection with them. And he was another person who like tried really hard to get to know Bojji. You could tell like he could tell he was
Hmm.
conflicted, but in the end, he still chose to do a terrible thing, which makes him, in my head, an even worse character. Because it wasn't even
Yep.
like it was like he doesn't know Bojji and was just hired to do
Hmm.
something. It was like, no, you watch this kid struggle, you
Hmm.
see
Grow
why
up.
he's chosen to do what he's doing, and then you still decided to do what you did just to cover your own ass, which makes you an even
Yeah.
worse character. Yeah.
And then he even was like, "Oh, Didas, the power of the king. Like Bochi is your people.
Right.
What are you
Like how do
talking
you
about?"
yeah, how do you turn your back on him? And then like even to like when Doji looks at him to, like even you, and he like turns his head away, and I was like,
Hmm.
he's the real coward. I take that back.
Yeah.
Despa is not a coward, but Domus
Yeah.
Domus is an actual coward. Like at
He
least stand
is.
behind
And
your decision if you're gonna do it.
if Boji doesn't like you, I don't like you either. I'm
No,
sorry.
I agree. If Boji doesn't like you, that means you don't
He's a
deserve to be
sweet
liked.
child.
Yeah,
Like he's too good of a person
he is.
that if he don't like you, you're
Right.
rotten to the
Right.
core.
Like you're an actual terrible person. And which to be fair, after what he did to
Hmm.
Boji, I
Yeah.
wouldn't like him either. So I get it.
No,
So
I
yeah,
wouldn't. I
definitely not
definitely
Domus.
wouldn't.
Yeah. Definitely not. Like
He.
you said about Moranjo, I feel for her, but I do not like
Mhm.
her. Like the more I see about her like backstory, it's clear she went through some traumatizing
Yeah.
stuff, and she finally, and like
Yeah.
Boss was the one. pillar after
Hmm.
everything went down that she could still attach to. So I understand why she's so obsessed, but she's still terrible.
Yeah. And yeah, Domus, he don't got no backstory like that. It's like
Nah, Domus is
you were
just
brought
trash.
in. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's just a trash person. So that's why he should probably be number one on my dislike list.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. He does take number one. I think if
Wait,
it's
no.
okay, who
Yeah,
are you gonna
I
say
was gonna
Ouken?
say Oaken. I'm sorry. I know he didn't mean to be
Hello.
the way he was, but okay. Let's just
Creeps
talk
you
about
out.
Oaken. Oaken is the creepiest villain I've seen in a long time.
He
Like
is
I see
very
villains,
creepy.
but I've never been like uncomfortable. Like I feel like he could see me through the TV sometimes. Like
It's the
that's how
way they
creepy he
always
is.
like they zoom in on his face and it's doing
Yeah.
something weird.
He's
I'm just
like
like,
his
wow.
laugh too.
Yeah, it's his laugh that just sounds like weird breathing. It's a
Yeah.
whole thing. Yeah.
And he does not care. He's not affected by Bojji's cuteness, kindness. Like he's really, and he
I think
gets
he's just
turned
like
on
completely
by
gone.
watching people die. Like, and the fact that when he stabs you, he don't hit your vital organs so he can watch you die. What kind of? And
Yeah,
he
like
wants
you
to
gotta be a
laugh, and he gets
special
that
kind of
anime
crazy.
girl blush when
Yeah,
it
like something
happens.
good. I think that's the thing that throws me off the most is like, because you see some demented
Yeah,
villains in anime, but the fact that he gets the like schoolgirl crush
and he
blush,
like breathes
just like watching
heavily,
people die, I'm like,
and he's
that's
like,
not okay to me. Yeah,
like that laugh is so like literally. Sometimes I don't want to like watch any scenes with him because I'm like, yo, I don't have no dreams about this man. I'm scared he might be able to have the power to get in my dreams. Like he might be able to see me. Like I never want to be easy cut there. Not with Oaken. Not
no,
and there's still no he like I don't even know what his weakness is like fully. Like he has a temporary weakness, but like I haven't seen a way for him to like be conquered or killed yet.
right.
So
Well, like, and
I
even
don't want
his
to go there.
yeah, even the people around him don't know how to kill him, right? Like they just like put him in a dungeon because they couldn't kill him. It was like the
Yeah.
most, and there could be, of course, some love there because that is
Hmm.
their brother. Of like maybe they don't want to kill him, but it is also one of those things where it's like he's immortal. He kind of can't be killed as far as they know. Yeah,
And he's so creepy.
he's
And
just
like he
yeah,
doesn't talk. He doesn't. I mean, his backstory is fairly sad. I'm not gonna
right.
elaborate on it, but he's like he makes me uncomfortable. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
I
It's like
think
looking at a
he
bunch of holes.
a bunch
Just
of holes.
something ain't right. The more I look at it, the more the more wrong it gets when I
Yeah.
look at him.
I think the reason he doesn't hit my most hated list is because a like you said, like this is out of his control.
Hmm.
Like it's something that
Yeah.
happened to him, and he seemed like he was like a good person for. Like I feel more bad for him
Hmm.
because this is how he ended
Yeah,
up more than
that's
like I
true.
hate him. Like the rest of them
Yeah,
can go
that's
sit on
true.
a stick. Yeah,
Yeah, if I'm looking at just him and not his backstory, then oh, he
yes,
just makes me feel uncomfortable. So
yeah.
I'm not a fan of Oaken at all. Like he's just overall, just watch
I
it. Y'all watch
yeah.
it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. He's
I
like the
enjoy
dreams,
him because I
nightmares are
think
made
he
of.
the nightmares. I
Yeah,
enjoy him because
you
I
can't
think
say he's
he's
not
a
made of
very
nightmares,
oh he's
Murray.
definitely nightmare fuel. I just like him because he's such a unique character. Like he's a
Hmm.
unique evil thing. He's not just like oh evil minion with cool hair, ugly evil minion. It's like nah, this dude's like a legit creep, and I
He ain't
don't know
got no
what's going on.
speech, nothing. He ain't gonna hit you with no
Nah,
speech. Just gonna
nah,
watch you die
he's just gonna
and
watch you die
laugh at
and
you.
breathe at you. Yeah.
Hmm. Like, oh yes. He didn't even say that. He's like,
Yeah, I
and he
was
like
like, I
starts
would,
breathing all
yeah,
hard.
I'd appreciate it. Oh, yes. All you get is heavy breathing and blushing. All
I'm like, I'm just gonna die. I just kill myself. He's like mad.
right. Like, some, you probably like kick the knife away from you, like, no, I have to watch you bleed out.
Like, nah, that's all right. I have a fail safe where I can kill myself
No, I'll just
in my
detonate
head.
myself.
Give
Yeah.
an aneurysm, just pass out.
Just
Damn
forced
it.
aneurysm. He's like, time to go kill somebody else now. Darn.
It was a good watch. I wonder how he would feel if he met someone immortal that he couldn't kill and they just kept torturing them.
Maybe that'll be how they stop him. They just
He
give him
finds a
another
woman.
rope. They
He's like,
just
I
fight for
love her.
and then they just
They get
fight
married and they
forever in the
torture each other.
distance. Yeah, it'll be great. They just chop each other apart and then
Hmm.
put themselves back
Then they make an
together. And
immortal child, and then that child comes to kill all of us.
yeah, I was like, that
I'm
sounds
just
actually terrible. It has gone from weird, get rid of Oaken to slowly creating some type of like immortal
I wrote the
like
next plot
army
of
or
the next
something,
season.
and yeah,
Yeah. And
I
then
don't want that
his
one.
wife finally dies and he's sad and he doesn't even want to kill anymore. You
He
know.
just gives up, goes to
Yeah,
become a
he's like,
corporate office worker. He's like, ever since my wife died, I just, I lost my
I don't
motivation.
have the I don't want to torture people anymore. And I couldn't touch anyone like her. That's the next season of Breaking of
That
Kings.
would,
No, I'm just kidding.
I,
Side
I,
story.
I
Oaken's
was like,
story.
yeah, I was like, I'd watch that. I would watch Oaken's story. He goes to see like a therapist because he just really can't get over this death, and
Hmm.
I'd watch
So
it.
like real life
Yeah,
Ranking of Kings story.
I'm just
So like a
imagining him in
Dexter,
like
like a
a
that sounds
suit.
like a real show with like somebody like Dexter or something. Like you, a
I just
mixture of Dexter and
and
you
you,
brought together. Um,
uh,
but yeah,
how to get
no,
over
Oaken
murder.
is Annalise Keating shows up. No, I'm just kidding. How to get over murder.
Right.
Shonda Rhimes writes it. Yeah, no, Oaken is one of the people that I don't like. I don't like his character. Not
Yeah,
like I don't like. I just mean his personality, and he creeps me out.
yeah,
But
he's
I
very
do like
creepy.
his character.
Yeah,
The idea, like you said, he's such a unique character. It's great. And even with Boss, like we said, we can never say we really don't like any of these characters. Like they were to this that Boss is actually disliked as a character, like his actual personal
right.
character, but not his character
Yeah,
writing.
like I'm just intrigued to see where Boss is
Yeah.
going. Like I'm trying to come up with
Yeah.
theories in my head.
That's a
I'm
good character.
still, yeah, it's a
'Cause you're
good
like, why would
character. It's
someone
very,
do this? Like,
yeah, it's
there has
not
to be a reason. Like, you want to
right.
believe the best out of this person,
Yeah,
just
he's
like
someone that you
Bojji.
want to believe the best out of because he also,
Mhm.
he had Boji's back. You could tell he loved Boji with all his heart. Like he loved Boji more than Dai did. That was his heart. So I'm like, what is happening with
Yeah.
you? It makes it so hard to
This
dislike Boss, but I also
this is
want him
not
to
a
burn in a
spoiler,
fire.
but a
Yeah.
prediction.
Hmm.
I predict Boji's gonna find out, and Bojji will be the one that kills him,
That's what I'm kind of thinking too, because I'm thinking that this ends with
and
Boss
he's
has
gonna
to
let Bojji
die.
kill him.
I think so because I think Boss has to die eventually. He has to bleep 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 bleep. So so I think
Bleep a bleep a
bleepity bleep pop
bleep.
bloop. So I think
Fat
it
Albert
is.
now.
But no, I agree with you. I think it's gonna come down to Boji's gonna be the one who kills him, and Boss is going, like you said, Boss is going to let him. Um, I think they're gonna have a mini fight though, because I think he's gonna want to see like, can Boji, is Boji ready to truly become king? Because they keep kind of mentioning that like, oh, Boji, he's the only one who can really beat Boss. He's the one who could beat Boss. So I think they are going to have at least a little like, are
Yeah.
you fit to take my spot kind of thing. But I think Boji's gonna be the one who ends up killing him, which is gonna be
I
sad
hope
for
this
me.
drags out because I don't want Ranking of Kings to end
Me either, but I
just
kind
yet.
of feel like it's very much
Hmm.
just a story
Because like
that's being told, Like,
Bojji becomes king, like what next?
yeah, like
What
give me
new
another
enemy does he
season.
have? Well, maybe it'll be the demon,
Yeah, yeah, maybe season 2 will be taking out the demon. I don't know. It does very much feel
and
like
then
if
Talk shows
everything's
up. No, I'm just kidding.
I know it just shows it just blows at the end.
Demon Slayer.
God. No, I'm curious. I have mixed feelings because I do love when a story is told at like Erase. Like Erase is only a couple episodes long. It's
Hmm.
a story that's meant to be told. They tell the story at the end. Like it's part of the
Right.
reason why it's not like I dislike shonen, but they are usually not my top anime because it is just like this person's just writing until they can't write no more, and that's why there's 1,000 chapters of this manga. It's like they just keep writing
Yeah.
and writing, and
Hope you
so I
don't get sick.
right, yeah, don't get sick and go on hiatus, like Hunter x Hunter do.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, like I love stories that you can tell that they had an end in mind and they just wanted to tell a story and that was it. So part of me does hope that Ranking a King is legit like we wanted to tell the story of this boy kind of overcoming all of these hardships and becoming king. But because I love it so much, I just selfishly don't want it to ever end.
Hmm. Yeah. It's such a good story, and even though it
Mhm.
gets sad, like you said, and sometimes dark, but it's a very feel good anime to
Yeah,
me. It's like
yeah,
it makes me feel
but
good when I watch it.
yeah, I always
Makes you
leave out
sad, but
of it
also
being
feel
like,
good.
right, yeah, it's like it's the relief. It makes me feel relief. Like I feel like after watching,
Hmm.
like Demon Slayer and Attack on Titan, where every Sunday I was sitting there, my butthole is clenched, my stomach is in shambles. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen for 2 hours. Or in the case of Demon Slayer, I know what's going to happen, but it's still heart wrenching. But then to get to Ranking of Kings, where it's like he's going through these hardships, but I feel like by the end of the episode, it still feels like like a breath of release. Like, okay, for the most part,
Yeah.
I can wait until the next episode without feeling like I'm going to turn into a ball of nothingness.
I like to compare shows, even if they're not anime,
Hmm.
shows video games to like dating a person. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
and I will say, when I watch shows, like you said, like Attack on Titan, it doesn't feel like a good boyfriend, like a good person
oh
I'm
no,
dating. Like
Attack on Titan would be a terrible
I'm
boyfriend.
questioning my relationship with them. I'm like, I'm in this, but like it does not feel
Yeah, I
healthy.
should not be here.
Um,
Yeah.
no, I shouldn't, but I can't give it up because I like bad things. And then,
I
but with
like
Ranking
bad
of
boys.
Kings,
Hmm.
it's refreshing. It's good. It's like not the perfect boyfriend because there's no perfect person to date, but it feels like a very healthy relationship that I can get
Yeah.
behind and I want to be a part of. And there's some like again, like Demon Slayer, like of course you could look at that and be like, "Oh, this is like the perfect," but
No,
it
Demon
even
Slayer
has
is
its
also no. I was like, no,
downfalls.
Demon Slayer is
And
absolutely a toxic boyfriend. No, that's the one that you
yeah,
think is
even
good, but he keeps
yeah,
gaslighting you. Don't go to Demon
yeah.
Slayer. Yeah.
Um even Cautious Hero, like I love that show, but clearly there are some things about that show that are not perfect
Yeah.
that I could, that I shouldn't love it as much as I can, but as I do, but I do. But then even then there's some stuff that's missing from it, like that
Yeah.
isn't um shonen or other anime that is missing from Cautious Hero. But I
Yeah.
feel like Ranking of Kings is the whole package. I will
Yeah, I agree. Ranking of Kings is
It's
like
the
you got
whole
yourself a good one.
package.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I'm
have
like,
like
I'm ready to
it's a
get married.
relatively
I'm
yeah,
done being
right.
single.
We might have
Yeah.
had our arguments, but we worked through it. We talked to each other. We communicated.
Hmm.
Like it feels like that healthy relationship. Y'all went to couples therapy. Y'all figured it out.
Yeah.
Y'all ready to like jump the broom. You good, right?
It feels like it also feels like, I mean, you could tell it's a very new relationship because I want to believe the best. Like you said, we want to believe the best in Boss.
I know,
But I
yeah.
want to know,
And all these
like, there has
characters,
to
I'm
be a
like,
reason for him
yeah,
to
right.
do this.
Yeah, like
There has to be
yeah,
a
boss,
reason.
boss is that one toxic tendency that you're starting to see. Like maybe you
It's the
get past
one
the
red
honeymoon
flag.
phase. That's
One
that
red
one
flag.
red flag. You're like, but if we can work through it, then we are good.
Like, well, he left a $2 tip on a very high bill.
Right on a
Or he said
$200
something
bill.
that threw me
Okay,
off just a
yeah,
little bit.
right, just a little. But maybe we can sit
Is
down
this
and
a
talk
red
about
flag?
it. Right.
Or maybe he just went through something. You know what I'm saying? Maybe
Yeah,
just
maybe
having
we
a
just
bad
need
day
to.
that day.
Yeah, maybe we need to elaborate on what he meant. That's all. We just need to talk about what he
Yeah.
meant when he said this. Like,
His dogs, his mom died a
yeah, his
couple of,
dog's been
you
sick.
know,
He's been off. Yeah.
his goldfish passed away.
Right.
Um, but so I will say that I would give it that this is the happiest I've been in a relationship in a long time. No,
In an
this
anime
is
relationship. Yeah.
yeah, this is I feel very safe and content with it. Like Attack on Titan, after that man said he want to make a tears out of his fans, a hot spring out of his fans' tears, like, he out to gut. With
Yeah. Oh
Ranking
yeah.
of
He's
Kings,
out to hurt people.
it doesn't feel like they're really out to hurt me. They're just trying to tell me a good story. And it happens in its life. I don't feel
Right.
gutted or betrayed. Like there's sometimes I watch some stuff and I like Demon Slayer, the movie. I was deeply affected by that for a while. Like I didn't even want to look at Demon Slayer for a long time after that. It was good, but it was just like, bro, that kind of hurt me. It hit me in the marrow of my bones.
Right.
So I feel like, but Ranking of Kings still has a couple more episodes, and it might hit me in the marrow towards the end. But I hope it's a good marrow feeling where I'm like, mm-mm.
Yeah, I definitely have faith that this is going to end in like there's definitely going to be some we are not done crying yet. I am positive we are not done crying
Yeah.
yet.
Oh,
Like I
I
cry
I, I
literally
told
every
you
episode. So
you haven't seen the new episode. And I cried
oh yeah,
very early into that
I was like
episode.
no, I just mean in general. I feel like every episode makes me
Yeah.
cry. So we're definitely going to cry.
Uh huh.
I believe that I will probably cry at the beginning of this episode, like I cried probably midway through the last one and the time before that. So we're not
And the
done
time
crying,
before that.
but I think by the end we'll get to happy tears.
Yeah, and it's not as bad as To Your Eternity where I was like like, oh my gosh, this is
No,
crying.
To Your Eternity was like
I couldn't even finish that.
we want to punch you in the gut, and then while you're down, we won't kick you in the side. Like that was To Your Eternity. This is like a mix of like, oh, this poor character, but they gonna make a comeback and they gonna be good. Like how this feels. Yeah, different feelings, definitely different feelings. Both made me cry. Very different types of tears. Yeah.
Also, let me just point this out about Boss, about why also he might make my, I mean, he's already a like dislike character, but let me just tell you, if I find out that him and Moranjo are lovers, I'm gonna be upset with him because he knew her when she was a baby. So I
I
can't.
don't
That's
think
all I
I
gotta
know.
say.
I don't think that's where this is going at all. It seems very much
Well,
like she
Mari,
sees him as a father from like
just
everything that's been
wait.
happening. Unless
Just wait.
unless
Just
something
keep watching.
drastically happens in this next episode, I still like from
Yes.
everything I've seen.
Keep watching.
Okay, I think no, and she might harbor feelings. Like I do think that she has like
Nope.
weird. Oh,
Yeah,
you think it's the other way around?
I think
Interesting.
he got something to do with it too.
Okay, I'll report back after I finish watching this
Yeah,
episode.
I
'Cause
haven't seen it. I'm just saying I got some, you know me, and my intuition
oh
sometimes can be
yeah. Oh,
right.
this is your intuition. This is not anything you saw in the episode yet.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
seen some stuff, but I didn't get the chance to finish it. So
Okay, well, I'll finish watching it then and see how I feel. Because right now it does feel like she might have some twist. Like I think the affection that she has for him has twisted into something. I don't know if it's love or just like a twisted attachment. I think I don't know if he pities her because of everything he's seen happen to her. I didn't see the feel like even with the conversation he's had about like what Miranja was and everything. I didn't see it
mhm.
as him being in love with her. Like when they basically told her backstory in the last episode, like I didn't see it as like feelings of romantic love. At least I thought it was more like seeing someone as a sibling that you grew up with and watching them go through such a terrible thing and feeling like you're the only thing in their life that's kind of keeping them some semblance of whole. But I didn't see it as love. But we'll see what happens in the next episode. Yeah,
Yes, we'll
or
see, and
romantic
we'll
love.
see
Yeah.
who this dang on demon is.
Yes, also that. I want to know who this demon is. But yes,
Yeah.
this is all to say go watch Ranking of Kings. If you have not, um, don't put it on the background while you're trying to do something because you just won't get whatever you're doing done. But definitely sit down and watch Ranking of Kings and get some tissues ready.
Yep. Get some tissues ready, and then also get ready to also have a good laugh. 'Cause there are some
Yes, there are some
funny parts,
very.
even in serious parts. That part with Domus when he fell.
Oh, and he fell. Yeah, like
Cuss
why
this
can't I?
overly
Yes,
trained body.
trained body. Yes, I think they do a good job of like just breaking up the tension enough where you're like, okay, that brought me a laugh
When
through the
that happened, I was
tears.
like looking like,
And that
wow,
was like
he's
I was
dead.
literally crying at that part because when he sees him and he's going through his and Bojji's going through his thing and I was literally crying and then that happens and I was like I'm good now, thank you for doing that.
Yeah, okay, I'm gonna
So,
just laugh about this.
right, I'm gonna laugh through my tears. So they do it. Yeah, they do a great job of even though it is more of a serious story. I mean, the overarching theme is more serious. They do a great job of bringing in laughter and happiness and heartwarming moments to break it up. It's not like again like Attack on Titan where everything is dying all the time, everything is darkness and sadness, and you're marching and you're doing a death march. It's very much a different energy where it is like you still have your tense moments, but again, you leave feeling relieved.
Yep, you do, and you're always rooting for Bojji. Bojji keeps you going. So
Yeah, he really does. Like Bojji is my heart, and he deserves all the love and happiness. And that is the last thing I will say on Bojji and Ranking of Kings. Well, we can end on Bojji as everyone's heart, and he deserves nothing but love and happiness.